Because my sister and her husband are on a New Year's trip, I've decided to take care of their kids for a week.
My husband says something unbelievable and brought along our 3-month-old niece. Not only that, but my sister-in-law also has 2 sons. Hey, what do you think you're doing? It's clearly impossible, isn't it? Our niece can't even hold her head up yet, and I have no experience with childcare. Besides, do you know I'm in the last month of pregnancy? What if I go into labor with the baby while you're at work?
Well, we'll manage somehow.
There's no way we can just figure it out. So I decided to resort to extreme measures. My name is Catherine Moore. I'm a 28-year-old office worker. My husband Josh and I have known each other since high school. I was attracted to him because he was well-spoken and cheerful, even though he was indecisive and unreliable in some ways. Our relationship continued even after high school graduation. Our courtship progressed smoothly, and before we knew it, we were getting married. My in-laws are also kind and wonderful people who treat me like their own daughter. However, at the same time, I was troubled by something. Something has bothered me since the beginning of my marriage. It's Mackenzie, my sister-in-law, who often displays an overbearing attitude. She's so stunningly beautiful that even if you said she was a model, you'd believe it. Almost every man in town turns to look when she walks by. It seems she was quite popular with the opposite sex, even during her school days. However, Mackenzie's looks didn't match her attitude despite being exceptionally beautiful. She had a really sharp tongue. She claims she's just stating facts, but it's clear to anyone that she's constantly being malicious. When I went to my in-laws' house for the marriage introduction, I was subjected to some truly terrible remarks from Mackenzie, whom I was meeting for the first time.
Oh, so you're Josh's wife? You're rather plain and unremarkable. Well, marrying a man like Josh, it's only natural that you're nothing special.
Well...
Anyway, please don't talk to me too much in public. It would be embarrassing for my friends to know that I associate with a plain girl like you. And just be aware of your place.
The first words she said to me were these. I had never encountered someone like her before, so I couldn't help but be shocked. I had heard from Josh that his sister has a bit of a tough personality, but I never imagined she would be so blunt and rude. Additionally, Josh's attitude at that moment also left me dissatisfied.
Beautiful girls like my sister are hard to come by. Someone like you, Catherine, is about right for me.
It was utterly disrespectful. Maybe Josh thought he was being supportive, but it sounded like he was making fun of me. On the way home, I complained to Josh, but all I got was a light apology.
Since my sister has a strong personality, it's better not to argue back too much. She's got a lot of pride, so if anyone other than herself flirts, she'll sulk. Saying bad things about you like that satisfies her.
I understood, but there were still parts I couldn't accept. However, there was no point in complaining further, and I didn't want to argue with Josh, so I decided to endure it. Well, Mackenzie seems to be married and out of the house. I'll try to keep my distance as much as possible during these family events. I thought that way, but that decision was naive. She had a much more selfish and brazen personality than I had imagined. Mackenzie's husband, Jeff, is always busy with his high-flying job. Seems like he spends more time away on business trips than at home. Mackenzie is a full-time homemaker, but she always tries to take advantage of us whenever she can. Even if we try to refuse, she throws tantrums and orders us around.
I'm in the middle of shopping right now. It looks like I'll be done soon, so please come pick me up. While you're at it, could you also pick up my lunch from the convenience store? A sandwich would be nice. I'll give you the money later, so please pay for it in advance.
Mackenzie, without even listening to my response, would order me to do whatever she wanted. I'm fed up with her selfishness. This isn't the first time I've bought lunch on behalf of Mackenzie. She says she'll pay later, but she's never once kept her promise. So I decided to refuse once and for all. Hey, Mackenzie, I'm working right now, so I can't go shopping and pick things up for you.
I know you're on your lunch break. Josh told me.
It seems Josh is sharing my schedule without my permission. He can't oppose his sister and basically does whatever she says. But I'm about to have lunch too.
You can eat later. I have kids, so I don't even have time to eat lunch properly. You don't have kids, so you can eat whenever, right?
I wanted to say that this was not the issue, but I decided not to argue. In the end, I couldn't have lunch and ended up doing the pickups and shopping for Mackenzie. Mackenzie has 2 boys, aged 5 and 3. She even involves us in taking care of her children. She asks us to take care of them for various reasons like shopping, going to the hospital, or having lunch with friends whenever we have days off. It seems like it's impossible to leave them with Mackenzie's parents.
The last time we left the kids with Dad, he ended up throwing out his back. Then, Mom gave me an earful of complaints and snide remarks. I can't handle any more nagging and complaining.
Mackenzie says that, but I've been informed by my in-laws of the truth. My father-in-law injured his back because Mackenzie practically leaves the kids at my in-laws' house almost every day. So my mother-in-law blamed Mackenzie for neglecting the kids and wandering off, and eventually it seems she couldn't bear to leave the kids with her anymore. While Mackenzie is indeed a stay-at-home mom, she doesn't seem to be doing any parenting. I did find it puzzling where she was going. I really wonder where she's off playing around. On the other hand, Mackenzie's kids are too energetic, causing chaos. Our furniture and belongings quickly end up in disarray. And to top it off, Josh didn't bother taking care of the kids. He just left everything to me. Hey, Josh, can you help out with the kids too? I'm not the only one taking care of them, you know?
No way. If I make them cry by accident, I'll get an earful from my sis, won't I?
He's so unreliable and weak like this. It's just so pathetic. However, if I give the kids proper attention, they'll behave and avoid trouble. Though I dislike Mackenzie, her children are adorable. Through them, I gradually began to desire my own children. However, despite my wishes, I couldn't conceive easily. Even though my sister, who doesn't take care of her kids, has 2 children already, why can't I have a baby? It's so unfair. While I understand logically that children are a gift, I can't help but feel down. But in the 5th year of marriage, I finally became pregnant. The child I'm carrying is a girl. Approaching the last month of my pregnancy, I was filled with happiness. At the same time, Mackenzie also gave birth to her 3rd child. Her child is also a girl and is now 3 months old. Mackenzie had been staying with her parents, but she returned home once things settled down. I was also planning to go back to my parents' house for childbirth, but things took a turn for the worse. One day, Josh returned home to our house with Mackenzie's 2 boys and her 3-month-old daughter. Then he said something unbelievable to me.
My sister is going on a New Year's trip for a week, so I've decided to take care of her children during that time.
Josh's sudden statement left me speechless. Apparently, Mackenzie's parents caught a cold early in the new year and are bedridden, so they can't help. But even so, I'm troubled if they rely on me. I felt anger welling up at Josh's selfish behavior. What do you think you're doing? Of course it's impossible for me to take care of 3 children with such a big belly. The niece hasn't yet learned to hold her head up, and the older boys are still a handful. Even now, just managing household chores with this big belly is a struggle. There's absolutely no way I can prepare meals for the kids and handle other household chores on top of that. Do you realize I'm nearing my due date? What if I go into labor with the baby while you're at work?
Well, we'll figure something out, won't we? Haven't I always taken care of the kids properly until now? I can't refuse my sister's request now, so please do something.
There's no way things will work out. And now after all this, you're asking me to do something? Please, don't say things like that lightly. It was December 26th that day, and Josh's New Year's break starts on the 29th. By the way, I'm on maternity leave, so I'm off. Josh is expecting me, heavily pregnant, to take care of 3 kids. I can't take it anymore. I decided to take drastic measures. As I was packing up my stuff in the house, Josh was startled to see it and began to panic.
Hey, what are you doing?
Can't you see? I'm going back home as planned.
Huh? What nonsense are you talking about? What about the kids? Abandoning them like this is irresponsible.
I never had an obligation to take care of those kids in the first place. I've been patient until now, but I've had enough. You need to take responsibility and take care of the kids. Ignoring his attempts to stop me, I returned to my parents' home. I really can't deal with this anymore. I never thought Josh would be this thoughtless. When I explained the situation to my parents, they were furious. They said I could stay as long as I needed to calm down. I was grateful and felt like crying a little. While the situation has calmed down, the fundamental problem remains unresolved. I decided that even after giving birth, I would continue to leave the child at home. To be honest, my love for Josh has completely run out. I couldn't stay married to someone who was under his sister's thumb while his wife was pregnant. To solve the problem, I contacted someone, and then shocking facts came to light. The next day, the doorbell at my parents' house rang. Josh, Mackenzie, and her 3 kids came. The moment I saw them, I felt utterly discouraged. My dad asked,
"Should I kick them out?"
But well, Josh might go, but I doubt Mackenzie would. I asked my parents to stick around just in case. Mackenzie glared at me and started complaining.
I was surprised to hear from my brother. What's the meaning of not taking care of my kids?
It means just what it means, I countered Mackenzie. Up until now, I've managed somehow, but I'm close to giving birth. Taking care of 3 kids in this condition is impossible.
Don't say such pathetic things. Do you really think you can handle parenting like this? You can't even look after kids, so how do you expect to be a mother?
Other people's children and my own children are different. Anyway, no matter what anyone says, I won't take care of your children. Please ask someone else. I refused to be involved at all and declined to take care of her kids. However, Mackenzie was more reluctant to give up than expected. She started suggesting outrageous things as if she were saying,
"What a brilliant idea."
Then why don't you take care of the children at your parents' house? Since your parents are here too, there should be enough people. That shouldn't be a problem, right? My parents are also astonished by her audacity. I glanced at Josh and he looks uncomfortable. Eventually, he started saying various things in support of Mackenzie as if he was taking her side.
"I'll help as much as I can, so don't be selfish, Catherine. My sister is family, so it makes sense to help her, right?"
The moment he spoke as if I were at fault, something inside me snapped. We're getting a divorce. Since we won't be family anymore, I won't help with childcare. Josh was shocked by my words, and Mackenzie looked bewildered. In a panic, Josh exclaimed,
"What are you saying? Are you trying to harass me? Don't talk about divorce so easily over a small marital spat. How immature."
I glared at him and said coldly, "A small marital spat? Isn't it because you've been unilaterally dumping childcare responsibilities on me? Cut the nonsense. And did you think I hadn't noticed your secret?"
"Huh?"
"You're cheating, aren't you? I know about it." As I disclosed this, Josh's complexion turned sour in an instant. In fact, I had been secretly investigating Josh's phone and computer for evidence of his affair as preparation for a divorce. I discovered his infidelity through the exchanges left on his text messages and emails. By the way, I've already discussed the matter with the other woman. In exchange for reducing the alimony, I was able to obtain evidence of Josh's infidelity. The reason I want to divorce Josh is because he always obeys and does everything his sister Mackenzie says. I'm actually grateful to Josh's mistress for giving me such a good reason to divorce him. It seems the mistress intended to only play with Josh, as she willingly handed over all the evidence she had. She has probably already erased Josh's contact information and fled by now. When I explained the situation, Josh seemed stunned and speechless. He probably didn't expect to be completely exposed by me and betrayed by his mistress. He's truly a despicable man. It would be great if the story ended here, but it's not that simple. After this, Mackenzie still hadn't given up on trying to leave the kids with me.
My brother's infidelity has nothing to do with me. The hotel for the trip is already booked. It's too late to cancel now, so you absolutely must take care of the kids.
Mackenzie was still trying to push through such absurd demands. After sighing, I confronted her with reality. Mackenzie, you can't afford to go on a trip. Wouldn't it be better to come back home right away?
Huh? What do you mean by that?
I know you're planning to leave the kids with your brother and go on a cheating trip.
What? Are you serious?
Upon hearing my words, Mackenzie turned pale. In fact, I had discussed this with Mackenzie's husband, Jeff, beforehand. I had told him, I don't want you to leave the 3 kids with me, heavily pregnant as I am, just because you're going on a trip. However, Jeff was shocked when he heard this. After all, he had been working away from home, and there were no plans for him and Mackenzie to travel. So it meant that Mackenzie had lied to her husband and was planning to go on a trip with someone else. Jeff had been suspicious of Mackenzie's infidelity for a while and had hired a private investigator. He even mentioned that they're conducting a DNA test on the third daughter because she doesn't resemble him much. The shocking truth emerged when I contacted someone for help. Upon hearing the news, Mackenzie screamed, hastily took the kids, and went home. That left only me, my parents, and Josh. Josh, sweating profusely, desperately begged for my forgiveness.
Catherine, I'm sorry. It's true that I cheated, but it wasn't serious. Just a little mistake. I won't do it again, so please, forgive me.
Even though he pleaded with a voice on the verge of tears, my heart remained unmoved. In fact, both my parents and I looked at him with utter disdain. I had no intention of forgiving Josh. He had always prioritized listening to Mackenzie and yet burdened me with all the responsibilities. There's no way I could have any attachment to a husband who prioritized his sister and even cheated. So I said this to him. Don't say stupid things. Whether it was a moment of madness or not, whether you were serious or not, it doesn't matter. Cheating is a blatant betrayal of me and our unborn child. Just because you apologized doesn't mean you're forgiven. What value does your apology even hold?
That's...
Both of you and your sister are cheating. You two are truly cut from the same cloth. Disgusting. I can't understand how you can hurt your own spouse and act so nonchalant. Don't ever come near us again. Immediately after saying this, and while Josh was still trying to make excuses, my father kicked him out of the house. After that, I divorced Josh and demanded alimony and child support from him. Josh repeatedly asked for a reconciliation, but I adamantly refused. When he realized I wouldn't budge, he reluctantly agreed to the divorce and borrowed money to pay the alimony. He said he would pay the child support in installments. Mackenzie also got divorced from her husband, Jeff. As suspected, it seems the third child was indeed the child of her affair partner. The two elder children were taken in by Jeff, while it seems the third child was taken in by his parents. Moreover, Mackenzie's parents disowned her. Mackenzie, facing demands for alimony and child support from Jeff, now works night shifts to make ends meet. As for me, I safely gave birth to a daughter. She's adored by my parents and is growing up healthy. Blessed with such a lovely daughter, I feel happy and ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead for her sake.